So I was scammed on Facebook Marketplace. This happened to me last Thursday. Today is Monday at the time of recording this, and there's still a lot of emotions and some anger, frustration, and annoyance. But I kind of wanted to share with you guys a couple different things in this process of this video. So what I thought I purchased and what I actually came home with. Just some maybe some tips and things that I experienced that could prevent you from going through something similar. And yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a difficult video for me to make because I still am frustrated about the process and what happened. But to give you guys a little bit of insight, basically this person had listed a PC at $1,500, and the specs that he had listed were for an i7 14700K, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and an RTX 4080. And I didn't have $1,500 at the time, but I had been working to get rid of a laptop and I had some cash. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, I don't have that, but would you be interested in this laptop with these specs? So it was an i7 Core Ultra, a terabyte NVMe SSD, 32 gigs of DDR5, and then it had a 3050. It was an HP Envy laptop with a 17-inch touchscreen. So, I mean, it wasn't amazing, but the thing still retails for like 1,500 bucks. I bought it for $1,200 at Costco. Anyway, and sorry for the swaying and stuff. That's just I guess a natural instinct of my frustration. But anyway, so I reached out to him and said, hey, I would do this laptop in 400. What are your thoughts? And he said, I'm not sure. Let me sit down. I said, okay, if you're open to it, I would do that in 500. And he's like, let me think on that. I'm going to have some breakfast, think it over. And I said, okay. And I'm a very upfront guy. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, I just try to be really authentic. So I said to him, hey, listen, I want to give you the information that I'm going to use this equipment. I'm going to review it because for me it was a lot of content. I could have made an AMD versus Intel video. You know, I haven't had a chance to work with a more modern Intel computer, so I could have put the 9600X versus the 14700K. Obviously, there'd be some differences. You know, the 4080, I could compare that to the 9070 XT that I already have. So, like, in my mind, there's a lot of content that could be created. And then I was upfront with him. I'm like, hey, I'm going to use this stuff. Whatever I want to keep, I'll keep. And I'm going to end up selling it. Just because I like to let people know that. So when they see their stuff listed on Facebook Marketplace later, it's not like I'm just out there trying to flip it and lie to them and cheat them out of their money. I want to let them know what's happening. So anyway, I told him that. And he was just kind of dodgy. He's like, I'm not sure. You know, I would need a laptop because they're making me go to traveling for work. And I'll probably share some of these things on the screen with you from my messages. That way you can read it. But basically, the guy was kind of hard to pin down and he wasn't really very committal. But then he's like, all right, if I'm interested, would you be open to where you are available to meet? You know, with me traveling, it'd have to be like at a gas station or a food store or something like that. And I said, that's fine. So before I get any further, where I want you guys to recognize, I've had people try to scam me before. Like they'll have a picture up on Facebook. So before I tell you that, what I should tell you is he had a task manager picture of a 4080 in an i7 14700K. So like in my mind, I didn't really care too much about the rest because I already assumed if you had those things, it was real. So anyway, people have tried to scam me before. Like they're selling, like I almost bought an Omen PC that was like 500 bucks with a 5070 and I think it was like an 8700F and 32 gigs of DDR5 or something like that. And I asked the guy, hey, would you mind just sending me a picture of that with it running? And the dude's like, I don't know, my phone's just really zoomed in and I can't figure out how to get it to go. But here's this brief video of it and it was nothing. And then he's like, well, here are some pictures. And every picture that he sent me had a different cooler on it. So like I could tell there that he was just going through and finding pictures on the internet to try and scam me. So like I'm aware that scams exist and I usually am pretty good at detecting it, but this guy was really, really natural. So I'll continue further down the story with you. So, I agreed to meet him, and it's kind of this rush because I hadn't reset the laptop yet, because I did have it listed and I didn't have anyone that was really serious about buying it yet. So I hadn't reset it. So I had to reset it, and there were several times where he's like, I'm kind of in a rush. I don't know if I'll be able to make it on time. And I would send him the progress of where the PC is. If you've never reset a PC, it can take an hour, 2 hours. And he's like, does it have to stay plugged in? Could you just bring it? Which I'm going to show you some signs here that point to he was trying to scam me, and also probably trying to get other information out of me, because if you unplug your laptop during the process, it will stop resetting. It could potentially corrupt files, or I'm not smart enough to know, but maybe it won't delete everything, and potentially he was trying to access that stuff. So I said, no, I sent him. Basically, he was playing this like he didn't know a whole lot about PCs, but he just wanted a laptop for work. He knew he had this PC, he knew it was nice, but he didn't know like how nice it was. And that's kind of where I was eager, because $1,500 for those specs isn't like completely undersell. The 4080 is nice, the 14700K is nice, 32 gigs of DDR5 is nice, but like it's only that high because of where the market is. So honestly, like you could probably buy a PC like that in a fair market for like $1,700, $1,800. So it wasn't that I was like completely trying to undersell this guy. I figured he didn't know what he had. The laptop would be valuable and the cash would be valuable, especially considering my laptop still retails for $1,500 if you can find it. So anyway, I agreed to him. I reset the PC, and he's like, all right, how much further away? And he's like, all right, I think I can make it work. So I end up meeting with him, and there are things that I should have thought about. I was just so eager that I allowed myself to get tricked. So the first thing I should have noticed was he asked to meet at a neighborhood Walmart. I assume most of you guys have a neighborhood Walmart. But the thing was, he didn't want to park up front. He parked closer to a Murphy gas station, and there was a construction fence there, and he backed his vehicle into it. The other thing was, he also had a friend with him, which is weird. Maybe it was a coworker, I'm not sure. But I didn't have a profile picture of the guy, because sometimes you don't see those pictures, or I don't know. His name was Aaron, and from the messages, it was Aaron Baxter. So if you are in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, and you see someone under that name, also just a shout out there that avoid him. But I'll continue with this. So I get out, oh man, reliving trauma sometimes is hard. So I get out, take my laptop out, and I'm like, hey, do you mind? I'll open up my trunk, I'll let you look at this. I'd like to look at the PC. And so he brings the PC over. He's like, all right, I don't have much time. I am kind of in a hurry. They do track my location when I'm working. So some of the things that you're seeing here, and there may be a theme, is if you are potentially scammed or concerned about it, the person's going to hurry you along. They're going to make you feel like there's a lot of pressure. And I said, yeah, do you mind if I just pop it open real quick? So obviously this is the PC right here. And he's like, I guess that's fine. I don't have a lot of time. So I do open it up. I look at it. And honestly, the thing is, like, if you're an expert PC builder, you've been doing it a long time, there's some things that you would question. But overall, like, I just thought there was a 4080 in there, and to me, everything else didn't matter, because that was going to be awesome. Plus, there's 32 gigs of DDR5. I assumed underneath that AIO was going to be the 14700K. So I did take it off, and sometimes, like on graphics cards, or usually, you'd be able to see that there is like a label on it. There's a serial number. There's some kind of identifying thing. So I pulled off this case here, and I'll show you guys. And I have only been in the PC building industry world space for about 3 months now. So I'll take that off for you guys and throw it to the side here. Now, I said, is there a spot where it shows that there is a 4080 on here? And he's like, I don't think so. I'm pretty, like, I don't know a lot about computers. My friend built this for me, so I don't think there is. So I'm gonna take you guys over here with me real quick, just so you can see. So there is an identifying spot. So this is another area where, this is another area, I'm gonna hold you guys right here real quick, that This wasn't a normal con. This is someone that does this professionally, and like this is something you would see in a movie or something. So I came over here to look at it, and there is a small piece of paper right there. You guys can see that. So it says ROG Strix, and you see if you can kind of look, it says like an 80 at the end. This person is so smart. I just saw the 080 or whatever and thought, that's a 4080. It should be fine, right? Like you guys would probably assume that. Like looking at this, and yes, I am an idiot. I should have tested this. I just assumed the guy was nice enough. He didn't seem like a scammer. He had a picture of a task manager with a 4080 and a 14700K. So guys, I let myself get scammed on this. I understand I should have tested it. But I said, yeah, I trust you. We should be good to go there. And the frustrating thing is we were getting ready to leave. So actually before that, the thing is, he was standing next to me and he was in my peripheral, and I'll say some other things that will also indicate how smart he was and how much of a con man this was. But if I had confronted him there, I don't know if I would have been attacked, to be honest. If I would have said like, hey, this is obviously not a 4080, this is not the computer, I don't know if he would have stabbed me, if his friend would have jumped out, like I don't know what would have happened. And to get even further with you guys here, so I posted that my laptop got stolen on Facebook Marketplace, and I know that I'm kind of rambling on. I didn't plan this video out as well as I could have. Still in that fight or flight from just speaking about it. Someone reached out to me and said, hey, I'm in IT. Where exactly were you guys? And I told him, he's like, I just so happened to have access to those cameras and in that parking lot. And he showed me like videos, and he's like, where were you? And he's like, yeah, the spot that you were in has no video surveillance whatsoever. So this person is so smart that they've used this one place, this Walmart, this neighborhood Walmart. If you live in Tulsa, it is on the kind of eastern side of Tulsa. It's a neighborhood Walmart. If someone tries to take you there, be aware of what they're doing. He was driving a red camper truck, and they're like, yeah, it's not identifiable. We can't see anything from coming in or coming out. So they know what they're doing. So this person was smart enough to scratch off this here, so I couldn't purely identify the card. This build, even though some of it looks like awkward, I didn't care because I just assumed if it wasn't someone super adept at building, I didn't care what it looked like as long as I got the components. So here we are. I've looked at it. I'm like, what? It's good, man. I'll take your word for it. I trust you. He's like, yeah, I don't know much about PCs. My friend built it for me, so I'm, you know. And then before we left, again, I'm a very honest and upfront person. I literally just sold you guys might have seen the last video I did where I tested out a Ryzen 7 5800X on the $350 box that I just bought a box of random things. This box right here. I bought this box for 350 bucks and it came with some stuff. I just sold a guy yesterday the 5800X and the TUF B550 motherboard. And I told him, I looked at him, I said, if you have any issues, if there's anything wrong, please message me, because that's the kind of person I am. And I looked at this guy and I said, hey man, I don't do scams, I take care of people, I'm always helping people, so if you have any issues with that laptop, please reach out to me. He's like, yeah, I don't scam either. Sorry, I'm just getting a little fired up here. So I look at it a little more after he's left, he gets in his car, he leaves, and I'm like, we're good. I'm gonna go home, plug this thing in, because I was getting really excited. If you guys don't know, this is a ROG Strix. There's a bird outside my window. If you guys don't know, this is a ROG Strix graphics card. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, those are higher in value. I got myself a ROG Strix 4080. I kind of look up online, and this is where the bells and whistles start going off that maybe something's wrong here, or maybe this is a Micro Center one, but the ROG Strix 4080 has a different symbol in the middle here. So I had a lot of other things to do that day. I really didn't have time to test the PC or like do a lot for it, but I just wanted to plug it in and see maybe if I could identify, you know, once I turned it on, which 4080 this was, because that would change the value of what I purchased. And let me show you guys here. So I had to go through the Windows start, but let me power it on. So I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer, hold on. So it obviously turns on. I'll show you here. You've got the cool AIO NZXT cooler. The RAM comes on, everything powers up. ASRock motherboard, it posts. It's got these cool blue lights here, and I'm gonna show you here the first thing that really made me go like alarmed. So I'm gonna block you guys real quick so you can't see this. The first thing that made me alarmed, I didn't want you to see my pin there. If you've been building PCs, you know a lot about them. Maybe you can tell right away, this is not Windows 11. So let me make sure you guys have a good view of this. Let me turn this one off for you guys. There we go. Okay, this is not Windows 11, and hopefully you guys can tell. If you can't tell that, usually Windows 11 will have this here. It doesn't use this background, so I'm going, what happened here? So keep in mind, I purchased an i7 14700K, and sorry guys, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM and a 4080. And I'm thinking, okay, well, let's just go check it out. Maybe this guy didn't know a lot, so maybe he accidentally installed Windows 11 or Windows 10. So I go to, if you don't know, you can type about your PC. You guys are gonna see here what's in there, and so I purchased a PC with 16 gigabytes of 2133 RAM, which if you don't know is DDR4. It has an i5 9600K. Here, let me bring you guys a little closer so you can see that better. There you go. It has an i5 9600K and a GeForce RTX 2080. So, me being the naive, generous, authentic, honest person I am, I go to reach out to this guy because I just think that like maybe he made a mistake. I still have all good intentions in my mind, and I reach out and I think maybe he made a mistake. I'm shaking because I'm still so mad, and like it's trauma, guys. The real trauma comes from being scammed, from being lied to, from being stolen from. I reach out to him, and this has only been like a 30-minute span, 45-minute span between when I left from him and I got home and I turned this thing on to start it. I reach out to him and it says my message can't send. I say, hey man, I might put that on the screen for you here. And it says message can't send. And immediately I understood and knew, and all of it I started to piece together. I was scammed. I'm still so frustrated from this. I guess I'm more mad than I realized. I was scammed. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys back over here so I can just speak to the camera. Yeah, so I was scammed. The guy took advantage of my eagerness. So again, if you are in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, when he did block me, his name then changed from Aaron Baxter to now it's Kevin Ray. So if you see a Kevin Ray out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or an Aaron Baxter, here's the interesting though. The interesting thing is the initial profile that I reached out to had 7 5-star reviews. So this is where it goes into, I think this person is even smarter and has done this so many times. I think that on specific profiles, they really sell things the real thing and let people rate them that way. And then the other ones they just delete, because I've had other people attempt to look and that posting is completely gone. It doesn't exist. Sorry you guys. I should probably turn this light back on too, huh? So I am really upset and frustrated, and I don't know how much of this you guys have watched, but yeah, so what I am gonna do, I have to make sure that he didn't try to put some firmware or something on this SSD or anything. After I realized that I got scammed, I haven't plugged it into the internet. I haven't loaded anything up on it because I don't want to potentially risk, him stealing my information or, man, I'm still shaking, stealing my information, trying to get into bank accounts or anything like that. So I have to figure out if I can just reset it, maybe do a fresh Windows install and try and delete everything. But I think at the timing of the last video I mentioned to you guys, I'm a small YouTuber. So I, at that video, had made $0 from YouTube. And the only way that I can get new equipment is selling my old equipment to buy new stuff. I started out with a budget and I can't go over that because I'm having another kid in May. I do run a business outside of this that is profitable and I do live off of, but I'm attempting to go full-time into YouTube at some point, or at least like 50 to 75% opposed to, the other one taking over more. So I am not allocating a large budget. All I do is flip. So I buy, review, flip, buy, review, flip. That's it. So now I have this product here that is significantly less valuable than what I gave for it. There is some good news though. So as of this morning, if you guys don't know, I do have a newsletter where I update everybody on the type of content that's going to be coming out. And I do offer like the ability to donate through that site or sign up for a PC giveaway. So I am the opposite of a scammer where I give stuff away. On this channel, I've tricked my brother into reviewing his own gaming PC for his birthday, and then I gave it to him. I held an axe throwing contest where the winner walked away with a free PC. I don't have it on this channel, but I have it on a separate channel where I gave away a PC on Facebook Marketplace for Christmas. I had a bunch of people enter, and then I did the drawing and threw it up there and reached out to the winner. So if you guys are interested, I think I'm going to give this thing away. If you sign up on the newsletter, there's a $5 option. I'm probably going to swap out the motherboard. I'm going to swap out the motherboard and CPU. I'll probably keep the 16 gigs of RAM. I'm probably going to switch the case because if I had to guess, this thing does not cool very well. But I'm going to verify that it all works and make sure it works. So yeah, we had our very first person sign up for that this morning. So that's great news. So in June, I'll be giving that away. But yeah, sorry, I normally wouldn't look down this much, or I'm really frustrated and I want to keep this one authentic. I'm not going to over edit or like try and make myself look good in this. I just want to put it out there because I want to do that. So yeah, I will keep the 2080, verify that it's a 1 terabyte NVMe, that's safe. I'll probably keep this NZXT cooler on here for you guys. Like I said, I'll probably case swap it because this thing is old. I don't think it does great on cooling, but maybe I'm wrong. Now here's where I'm going to ask from you guys, and I should have put this in much earlier in the video. If you would like to potentially help me recover as a small YouTuber, this sucks for me. I don't know. If you guys would like to donate, I have linked below like the newsletter where you can subscribe. You can donate through that. I've also got my business email in here in the link where if you want to, I'll give you my Venmo or something like that. You guys can send money. If you'd like to send PC parts or something, I feel like I'm a good place to send it to because a lot of times, like if you just say, hey, like would you put this towards a giveaway, or if you just want me to review stuff, I'm okay with that too. But yeah, I would appreciate help if there's anybody out there that would like to potentially help me recover from this massive loss. And to people that are considering scamming or thinking about that, or before I say that, let me say this. Before you guys throw hate in the comments and say, all these terrible things about this person, I want you to consider what it took for someone to get there. Because I told you there are dumb scams, and there are ones that, like, if you pay attention, you should probably be able to identify it. But then this is like I said, this is like a movie where you would see someone go through and think through every detail and, plan all these things. Like, I'm a pretty smart person and I got outsmarted because I was eager. So think about what it takes for someone to get to that point. Like, if this is a con man, has this person ever trusted anyone in his life? Did they go through abuse? Is there addiction that's coming? Like, something in their life led up to them being this way. So before you guys go and hate and say all these things, like, I'm frustrated and this person really upset me and annoyed me, and I'm also mad that I just got outsmarted. But like, at the same time, what did it take for him to become such a bad person? Because people don't just inherently become bad and evil and this horrible. People do bad things, but people don't become this bad without something causing it. So be kind about the words that you're using here, especially if you guys are leaving comments. I feel bad for him too, because while this sucks for me, this person is living their entire life looking over their shoulders. They're constantly worried that at some point they're gonna get caught. They might go to prison. Who knows? So like, it does suck that this happened to me. And the other thing I wanted to say was I am really grateful that it happened to me. Again, I should have scripted some of this out, or at least planned it. I never script any videos. I just kind of have an idea of where it's gonna go. But like, I am actually grateful that it happened to me, because I can't imagine if I had spent a whole year saving for a PC and then this happened. Like, for me, my lights aren't gonna go out. I'm not gonna not be able to pay my rent on my home. I'm not gonna not eat. There's all this does. I have a PC that I daily use. I have, behind you guys, way too much PC stuff. So like, this affects me, and it sucks because I have a dream and a hope to become a YouTuber built around PC tech, and it could potentially slow that down. But could you imagine if you had waited a whole year to get your taxes in and you bought a PC? Excuse me. And this is what showed up. Like, you went home and it was significantly worse than what you expected. This can't download Windows 11, I'm pretty sure. It's outdated hardware. The 2080 is nice. So like, I am glad that it happened to me, a person in a situation where this doesn't change my life in a way that I couldn't afford to have a mistake. And I'm sure he scammed other people too. But I am grateful that it happened to me, because I can identify this, and at least I can say to you guys, and potentially some of you will help me, maybe recover. Sorry, I've been sick for like a week and a half now, and my throat is very dry. At least potentially some of you guys might be willing or open to helping me recover some of this financial loss. But like, thank goodness it didn't just happen to a regular person that doesn't review PCs, that doesn't know a whole bunch, and they go to plug into their 1440p or 4K monitor thinking, man, I just bought this sweet rig that can run any game I want, and they can't play Spider-Man 2, or they can't upload anything, like they can't get Borderlands 4 to upload or anything like that. Like, oh, sorry, just angry. I had something else I was going to say and I completely forgot it. Yeah, so if you guys would like to donate, if you would like to financially give, or like I said, I am for sure gonna swap out the motherboard, the CPU. I want to make sure the PC is safe. I am gonna benchmark it for a video, just because, as long as it's safe and I'm not worried that I'm gonna like lose anything financially or anything like that, like more. Yeah, so I don't know where I was going with this. He's a really smart person, but obviously the life that he's living and the life that he's had to lead to get there has probably been really sad and traumatic. Oh, that was the other thing. If you are thinking about scamming other people, or, that's something that you've thought about in the past or that you want to do, I want you to realize that beyond just the financial loss, the PC parts loss that I've lost here, it also steals people's peace. It also makes them paranoid and more concerned and frustrated, and perhaps like less likely to be open in the future. So you're not just taking away someone's money or their items, you're also taking away things that they need to function every day. So just consider that. And where was I going with this? I had one other really important thing to say, but I forgot it. Yeah, I don't know. I am still really frustrated. Normally I would have these with better cadence and But here's where I'm at. You guys are getting to see the authentic, vulnerable side that's frustrated. And if that was the other thing, so if you do enjoy this particular video, before you subscribe, I don't normally create content like this. Normally it's more around like testing the PCs and doing wacky things with like throwing in graphics cards into a 10-year-old PC, or like I've got this one here. In that $350 box was this 14-year-old processor that we're gonna throw a bunch of modern graphics cards into. So that's the type of content I normally make. I would suggest you go watch some of that before you hit subscribe, because you may not like the other content if you just clicked on us because it's kind of like a drama video. But anyway, yeah, I do hope that you guys maybe learned a little bit from this, and like, if you're potentially going to get scammed, some of the things that you can look out for. And don't let yourself get pressured into time. If they don't have a profile picture, maybe ask for it. And the other thing that I'm going to do moving forward, especially when buying a full PC, which I might not do a whole lot more of, I might ask to meet at a police station. If I feel unsafe and they don't agree to that, I might say something like, hey, you know, this is a large amount of money being exchanged. I feel like for both of us, just the safety factor, I'd love to meet a police station. Are you open to that? If they don't respond or they say no, I probably would just move on. So yeah, please consider, you guys, subscribing to the newsletter, or, you know, just financially, if you want to give, help me recover from some of this. Check out some of the other content, and I will catch you guys in the next video. I think we're going to be testing that 14-year-old processor for the next one, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this and learned a little bit, and I'll see you guys later.